Hi, everybody. I salvaged this pine wood from a shipping container a while back for free. So I thought maybe I would make something out of it. And I was thinking I would trim it up, maybe plane it, and try to make some signs. I want to do signs with the names of each of the kids in our Sunday school class. They're 9, 10 years old. So just need to get rid of this stuff here. That should be pretty close to where I need it. All right. And where did I put my, oh, there it is. Hiding on the lathe over here. That's pretty close. So I'm not going to put that right up against the fence. All right, here we go. I guess I should raise the blade first. Okay, that seemed to work okay. Oh, that's really excited to hear about your gastrointestinal issues there. We are going to not worry about that kind of comments. It's not really that kind of channel. So, Prod by Hitman and Siddharth, good to see you. Thanks for joining. All right, so, all right. Oh, you know what? I didn't cut that all the way through. Shame on me. But, there we go. Close enough. And, I shouldn't have done that, but, it's got some staple marks in here anyway, so I'll just cut that off. It'll be fine. All right, so move table saw out of the way, and let's see. Let's do a miter saw next, and hook up the vacuum. And I'm gonna need my PPE back on. So smart of me to take it off. All right. So before I get too involved there, plug that in so we have some power. And I'm going to put this the other direction, so I've got the additional support here. Just cut that off right there. Turn on the job vac. No, I think I'm going to make these into 1 foot long segments. So just take out the ruler here. And combination square. And right about there. We'll lock that in. And now I'll just use this as a guide for how much to cut everything else. What I should do really is set up a stop block, but it's beyond where I'd want to be cutting. So I still need to redo this miter station cart. I want to have some folding out feed supports, and then I can also have those put some have folding out feed supports on them, and then I'll be able to build in some stop blocks and stuff on them. I've been saying I want to do that for quite some time, and one of these years I might actually get it done. But this miter station cart is one of the first things I ever built, so it's not the greatest construction, but it still works for the most part. So, like, why fix something that's not broken, right? So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is not enough for everyone in the class, but it's probably more than I can get done tonight. So, all right, here we go. Everyone who's watching, feel free to jump into the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. Have you made signs before? Tell me all the stuff. All right. So next step, I think I want to plane these down. So you can see they're, not entirely smooth, and they've got some staining and whatever. These were part of a shipping container, right? So I'll just plane them down to some fresh wood. So, which means I need to get out the planer. And put my PPE back on. All right. That should be enough to remove it first. So let's see how that does. Well, it looks like that removed just about nothing. So go a half turn. All right, so I planed one side and then turned them around and planed to the opposite side. So this is what they look like now. Much cleaner. I've still got, some staple marks and nail marks, but we may be able to work around those. And the hi, Body Fitness and Lop Chop and Kanaku. Thanks for joining. Hey, everybody. Tell me where you're watching from, and you ever made any signs before? And I'm gonna sweep up my mess here, and it's always good to clean up after yourselves, kids. You know what? I'm gonna unplug this just in case. Don't really want the broom getting caught up into the planer. That could be bad. So can you see my pile of shavings there? There you go. And before I put the planer away, I'm going to vacuum it real quick. The planer is not light, so one of these days I want to make a stand for the planer and the jointer that I have hiding down there. That way I won't have to lug it out every time I want to use it. Should also make it so that I don't have to crouch down next to it whenever I want to use it. Now, what I usually do with these shavings is throw them into the garden as mulch. So let me clear a path for the garden. And I think pine is okay for the garden. If anyone knows if pine mulch is good for the garden, let me know. And especially let me know if it's not good for the garden. I'll be right back. I'm not much of a gardener. Trying to grow green beans and corn and peppers. I haven't put the peppers out into the garden yet. They're still kind of growing in little little seedling things, whatever they're called. Like I said, I'm not the greatest gardener. But all right, so we got that done. So now let me move the router table over. And I'm going to see what I can do about making some stuff here. So I think I should lower that a bit more. So, oh, you know what? I have to disengage it first. There we go. All right, that's as low as it'll go at this setting. All right, so I'm thinking to write their names first. And for that, I will use a guide because I am not artistic at all. Let's see. Let me find this pencil. Okay. All right, so I want to give myself a border. And I think this is about 3/4 inch. Is that right? Yeah, 3/4 inch. So I'm just going to do a border around the whole thing. And that gives me a little bit of wiggle room to be able to, you know what, if I make it 3/4 inch, the names are going to be relatively small. But you know what, that's not the worst thing in the world. And you know what, rather than marking with that, I think I'll use this multi tool here. And I'm going to go to just 1/2 inch. So let me erase those marks with my eraser. That actually was a really poor idea to erase with because I had the nice planed surface, and now, well, whatever. What grid is this? 120. I'm going to switch to a 220. I better go to 180 first and try to smooth out what I just did. And then the 220. All right, that's good enough for now, I think. Oh, hey, got some chat to get up on here. All right, Gary, Gene from near Philadelphia. Cool. I've never been to Pennsylvania, but I've heard of it. Let's see. Hey, Craig, good to see you. I do not recognize those characters. Sorry. Wesley or Gene from Detroit. Sweet. And oh, Bradley, yeah, the pine mulch sucks nitrogen from the soil. I've read that. I'm not mixing the mulch in. I'm just putting it on top. So I think it might, what was the term you used? Suck the nitrogen at first, but I think it returns it over time. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, good to know. Better to mix it with grass clippings to compost it first. Maybe add some manure. Right. So I'm not composting it. I'm just putting it on top of the garden. So maybe that's a good idea. Maybe not. But I figure it's probably better than just throwing it in the landfill. Over time, it'll become some decent organic material, right? All right. So I've just got this set to 1/2 inch border rather than the full 3/4 of an inch that I had earlier. That should be plenty of border. If it's not, then we'll deal with it then. This is all adjustable, right? We're not locked into anything in particular. All right, so hi, Chris and Tracy. Thanks for joining. All right, so the first name, let's do Allison, which is spelled with a Y, if I remember right. I hope I remember right. And for that, I am going to use this. So let me just freehand it at first. And that's going to be way too small. So let me think here. What's going to be the best way to do this? So here's our midpoint. Okay, so Allison, so I need the Y in the middle. And so let me get my eraser again here. Sadly, I need erasers frequently when I'm in the shop and otherwise. But it's probably better to make the changes when I'm just using the sanding instead of after I've already made some irreversible cuts. All right. Let's see. Philippines 4:13. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Amen, brother. And thanks, Brody and Alec and Mario. Thanks for joining in. All right, so let's do the Y right here. And yeah, even that. See, I'm going to need an eraser a lot. Let's see. So I've got 11.5 inches here, and well, YSON, 7 letters. So should I do some math or should I just wing it? Winging it sounds great. All right, so you know what? I think for that, rather than going the erase once again here, I think it'll be a lot better for me if I just go straight and then angle the Y like that. All right. And then I need an L here. And I'm just going to go down to my border line here. And then another L. And my border line. And then my A. My to try to avoid that knot. I should have tried avoiding it a little bit better. And then that A is not as big as the others, and I want to move it further away from that knot. So erasing again. I think by the time I'm done, I will have put some graphite over the entire piece. So let's move that over here. And all right. So then we've got to have an S here. Means I have to freehand it because I don't have any S rulers. And I don't have any O rulers. Thankfully, I do have a ruler for the N. I'll try to make the N end about the same distance from my edge as the A, which I didn't, but close enough, right? Probably not, but oh well. All right, let me catch up on the chat. Let's see. Joe, wish you had a shop to tinker around in. Yeah, you know what? This has been kind of fun, and I am eyeballing it. Use something like drafting paper to make what you want to put on the wood, and then trace it with the scribe. Yeah, but then I need to get some drafting paper, right? I don't have time for that. I want to cut things. Hey, Billy, thanks for joining in. And let's see. I think we're gonna put you in a bit of a timeout. And all right. And then I don't recognize that language, but hello to whatever that is, and also say segundo. I know segundo. Well, I don't know you segundo, but I know the word segundo, the name segundo. Spent a couple of years in Argentina, so thankfully I picked up a little bit of Espanol, or Castellano as they call it there. All right, so let's start with that one and just see how it goes. I'm planning to use a router to cut out these letters, and I want to use a V-grooving bit. I've used it before. It does pretty well as long as I don't lower it too much. Need to keep it relatively light. So try to do that. It's a 1/2 inch bit. And so I would like to use my compact trim router because it's easy to control, but it won't fit a 1/2 inch bit. So I'm going to use the router that I used before is actually inside here now. So I mounted it to the router table. And I don't want to have to undo the base and everything to be able to cut this. So my options then for routers are this old plunge router, 1615 EVS. This is a very powerful unit. It worked really well when I was trying to flatten a couple of things out for the around the fire pit, but it's a plunge router, right? So it'll give me some nice plunge capability, but it's also much heavier and not the easiest to maneuver, right? So compare these two, right? So the trim router versus that guy, way easier, but won't fit the bit. Will fit the bit, not nearly as easy. But I think the compromise here is the old 1604. Picked this guy up used. Actually, I picked both of these. I picked this one, the one that's in the table, this one and this one. I got them all used for pretty cheap. And then I did pay new prices for this, but it was on sale at Home Depot around the Christmas holiday. So didn't feel too bad about the price I paid on that one, but felt a lot better about the prices I paid on these ones. So I think I'm going to go with the 1604. Anyone have any experience with any of these routers? What are your thoughts? Am I making the right choice going with the 1604, or should I do one of the other ones? And all right, so hopefully I've got, let me get the cord off of it here. And this is a pretty old router, so instead of some slick design, it's just a little wing nut there to loosen and tighten. So, and this doesn't really stand up on its own very well. So, so there's that. But let me get the bit, throw it in there, and then it's not going to let me tighten it by hand at all. So let me find what wrenches I need here. Wonder if one of these will work. And that might. And that's too small. There we go. Hopefully that works okay. And all right, so how I position this is going to go a long way to determining how deep my cut is. So the first time I used this bit, I cut way too deep. And I think that might be right about where, well, let me go a little bit deeper. That should be pretty good, I hope. I can get started, and if it's not deep enough, I can always start over. If I cut too deep to start with and then decide that's too much, a little tougher to come back from that. So let's see. Yeah, baby router. Only one way to find out, right? Yeah, no automatic lock, just playing along, right? All right, so let me think about how to set this up so that it's safe for me to do and also easy for you to see. So, I think I'll do it the same way I did it before. And this router table is mobile. It has wheels, and so I can kind of lock it down a little bit, but it still moves a little bit even when the wheels are locked down. So I don't think I want to use this as the workspace. So I'll use the immobile workbench, and I'll just lock it down with some double-sided tape, which is the same way I did this the last few times I've done it, but again with a different router. So let's see if we can get you a good view of what's going on. Goes over here with all the other pile of crap in the corner that you're not supposed to see, and so I'm not sure why I brought your attention to it. Probably exactly because I was hoping you wouldn't notice the big mess in the corner. That's why I had to bring your attention to it. All right, let me put the plunge router away, and put the trim router back on its French cleat holder, and I'll grab our Allison sign. And the first time I did this, I put my double stick tape right on the edge, and I learned that that is not the best way to do it. You want to have a little bit of space with which to pry it off if you need to. So, and I'm starting this roll. Oh, thank goodness the tape came off really easily there. Usually I'm really struggling on the first bit, so I try to make it so that I don't have to peel the backing away from the tape very frequently. So, as I was saying, there we go. All right. And then I will just secure that down. All right. Yeah, what a mess. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Billy. I'll try to do better, but really I probably won't. Okay. So this does not have plunge router capability, but I'm going to make it plunge anyway, basically by just hovering over and bringing it down. One of the things I learned from doing this before is that I can control it pretty well when I'm bringing it toward me, but it's a lot harder to follow the line and keep the router under control when I'm pushing it away from me. So whenever possible, I'm going to be trying to pull the router toward myself. So if you see me moving around and sorry, possibly blocking the picture, I apologize. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can. No, that's not going to work. My wife got this for me for Father's Day, and I was thinking maybe I could use this and set it up so that you could see, but it's the wrong orientation, and I'm not sure how to switch it to a better orientation so that you can actually still participate how I intend. Also, if I put you on the workbench, I've learned that it tends to vibrate a fair amount. So that might not be what you want. So let me see if it's any better to have you set up on this side. What do you guys think? Is that better or worse? Probably hard to know until I start cutting. But let me move some things under here and see if I can slide the tripod even closer here. And let's try that. Hopefully that doesn't mess me up. I can still have a good footing here. All right, so back with the PPE and plug this guy in. And just test to see how this is an old style router and it just has the little deal there. So let me just see if it'll turn on. It will turn on. He's got some kick. He's not as big as the plunge router, but he's still got something there. All right, so I'm going to just position my V-bit here and just kind of rock him back so that he's ready to rock into place. All right. So I feel like I did pretty well until over here. So got pretty squiggly in here, and obviously right up there, and then my N wasn't as clean as I wanted it to be either. But you know what? We can deal with it. All right. So, but I am pretty pleased with the quality of that cut. It wasn't too deep, went pretty well. So the first time I used it, when it was way deep, it was a little scary. But all right, let's see. Catch up. Oliver, what am I making? I'm making some signs, dude. Signs everywhere. The signs, or at least there will be. And yeah, Oliver. All right. Mark, Raja, good to see you. Gavin on the go. Good to see you, man. Good morning or good night. It's a little past midnight where I am here in Idaho. William K. I didn't smell it, so I think you're fine. Let's see. Not bad. Neat. Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. All right, so let me show you. Well, let's see. Should I continue on with this sign to completion, or should I start with the other signs that I'm going to make, the other nameplates, or nameplates, not really nameplates, but what do you guys think? Maybe I should do a poll. Yeah, let me do a poll. Should I finish the Allison sign first, or move on to others first? Oh, Allison, others. All right, we're starting the poll. So we'll let that poll go for about a minute and see what people think. So far, the chat is saying to finish Allison. I can understand that sentiment. And while you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to adjust the router table just in case we are doing Allison first. I guess I can show you that adjustment. We've got a multi-cutting bit there. So it'll just be a slight round over. You know what? I think I'm gonna, should I do the round over or a chamfer? Kind of like the look of the chamfer. Let's see. All right. So Allison wins. Well, 86%. So let's do a poll on chamfer or round over. See what you guys think. And yeah, James, it'll be appreciated if it's made with love. You never know. Sometimes people don't appreciate things even if they're made with love. Other times people appreciate it even if you didn't have any love involved. So finish this 2:12. Yeah, 2:12 in the morning there, Billy. Yeah. All right, so you guys want the chamfer so far, it looks like. You know, I think I'll set up the other router table for that. And that way I don't have to switch the bit on this one, and I get to show off the other router table. I made a video recently about making this router table and why I wanted to make it instead of just using this guy. But a big part of why I didn't like using this one was the fence that I had on it. But after making this one down below, I thought, why not just make a new fence for this router table? And so I did. And so now I like this one a lot better than I used to. But I still need to switch it out for a chamfer bit instead of, because this has a round over in it as well. So I'll need to, and yeah, we're at 80%. Yeah, we'll go with the chamfer. So let me find the chamfer bit, because that's not in there yet. There's a chamfer bit. Now with the chamfer bit, I could actually do the chamfer bit on the trim router, because it's just the 1/4 inch shank rather than the 1/2 inch. But I think I want to do it on the router table. So yeah. Let's see. What wrenches do I need for this one? So I think I just need this guy, because unlike my old Bosch 1604, this one has the little I don't even know what to call that. It's got this little thingy, so it'll allow me to use just a single wrench. All right, and then I've got the collet reducer in there. And you don't want to put the bit all the way down. I'm going to have a little bit of separation. You don't want it sticking mostly out, but you don't want to seat it all the way down either. So at least I don't want to. Maybe some of you do. All right, and I've been told that you don't have to really tighten that down hard, but I like to have it pretty snug, in part because of the screw-ups I've done in the past that have been a little dangerous, trying to cut too much at once. And anyway, you learn as you go, right? But routers can be dangerous. Locking widget. Yeah, James, you can go with that. Yeah, Jonathan and Nana, good to have you with us. Thanks for joining the chat and the live. So put the wrench away, and we'll reposition you here so you can see the table once we get that back in there. Actually, I'm going to have to move this again anyway, so don't get too comfortable with your current position. I'm pretty sure I don't have enough power cord to reach And I want to hook this up to dust collection anyway, even though there shouldn't really be a ton of dust coming from this. I'd still rather have less mess to clean up than more mess to clean up. I'm weird that way. So I'm going to bring it over here and plug it in over here. And let me just show you how this this fence works. So I've got it adjustable right there, so I can slide it around. And then if I take that out and that out, then I can take my vacuum hose, stick the vacuum hose right there, put this over the top, and then let's see if I'm, here we go. And push that down tight so that it kind of locks in there a bit, which is not the easiest to do when I'm looking at it from the angle I am. There we go. All right, so that's nice and locked in. I've got good vacuum connection there. And pretty much all of the suction is going to come out. It's all going to be concentrated in that area right there. So I'm going to want that to be pretty close to my bit. And that's about as well. Let's see if we can get a better view from over here. It's a little bumpy as I'm adjusting here. That might be better. Maybe not. Probably not, actually. Now that I think about it. Let's do this. We're just going to move you all over the place here. There we go. All right. Let me get my protective equipment back on. And let me see, how deep is that going to go here? You know, I think I want a little bit more of a chamfer there. Let's try that. We'll start with that, and then if we need more, the actual position of the fence doesn't matter that much because I've got a bearing on this. So the fence positioning is more for the suction. But if I need to go deeper, I can. That sounds a little different than I was expecting. Yeah, James, very true. Master Carpenter told me that Master Carpenter makes mistakes like everybody else. They just know how to make it look perfect in the end. Yeah, I think the Master Carpenter also probably makes a few, like fewer mistakes, and the mistakes that he does make tend to be a little more easily correctable. But yeah, everyone makes mistakes. But how well can you make up for them? All right, so that's the chamfer we've got with that depth. What do you guys think? I was actually thinking to go a little deeper than that, a little more of a chamfer. What do you guys think? Go more? You like it how it is? What do you think? Check your responses here. Kevin, don't I ever sleep? Hey, you know what? Sometimes. Garuda, go more. I like it. Yeah, I'll do it. Kevin, I sleep at times, but let me take it up to, let's try that. All right, here we go. For those of you that liked it just as it is, like Billy, too bad, we're cutting more. Now we're talking. That's more like what I was thinking. All right. Oh, that's a little bit quicker descent than I was intending there. All right. That out of the way. That. All right, I'm going to go with random orbital here so that I can get a quicker clean, get all those pencil marks off of there. And because I planed it, I don't really feel like I need to go. I certainly am not going to start at an 80. So I think a 180 is going to be I need to start at, and really, no, I'm just going to start with the 220. Start and end. So you know, this has the nail hole or the screw hole over here that I didn't really notice before. I wonder if I should put another one over on this other side just to make it even. Well, we'll see. And all right. I usually like to use the vacuum, but I'm going to just turn on the air compressor here and blow this thing off. All right. I really like that my air compressor is not particularly loud. It's a quiet one. So let's see. All right. So we've got Electrofiction. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, man. Rudy, hello. Ligma. Yeah, you know, everyone has their opinion, man. And my opinion is that you can go on timeout. So, all right. And all right. All right. So, my next step hopefully isn't too controversial. I've done this before. I wouldn't say I'm a professional, but not too terribly dangerous in a wood shop with lots of flammable material. Why not use a torch, right? What do you think? More? Let's see. Hey, Jack. Good to see you. Would I be able to patch the hole with PVA glue and sawdust? Yeah, you know what? I probably could. Maybe I should have done that before I started burning here. But I think I'm probably not even going to worry about it because, like, I've got the knot, I've got that. Yeah, whatever. I think I want a little bit more color down here and maybe up in here, and maybe a little bit less color there, but a little late for that, but we'll see. All right. What do you guys think of that? Is that good enough contrast? Is it easy enough to read the name? And yeah, rustic look. Yep. Pretty instantaneous. Yep. Touch more on top and bottom. Yep. Electrofiction, were you saying a touch more top and bottom before I did a touch more on the top and bottom, or now after I've done a touch more? Do you think it still needs a little bit more? I think I'm pretty close to satisfied with that. I think I'd like a little bit more definition down here, but I also don't want to get too much burning going on. So, Billy, it looks good. Well, then I guess I have to do more, right? Here we go. No more now. All right. Bit more on bottom if you can control the flame. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to get much more color down here without, really getting dark color. So I'm going to call it good enough right there and move on to the next step. Maybe after that cools a couple seconds here. And my next step, I think I will finish it with something easy, like shellac. Spray on shellac. I don't know if there's anything good or bad about using shellac while the workpiece is still relatively warm. Not really that hot. Obviously, I can put my hand on it without screaming out in agony. At least, I'm not going to let you guys hear me scream out in agony. Maybe I will. All right. All right, so there's a first coat of shellac, and come back for additional coats later. All right, what time we got here? 12:37 my time. Okay, don't overdo it. Yeah, that's enough. Dry quicker. Yeah. I guess it probably should dry quicker with it being as warm as it is. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna move this guy so that I can use the other router table again. I'll just set him down here for now. One of the nice things about having everything on mobile carts in the workshop is that it is pretty easy to move things around. So let's see. Get out my stuff to do the next one. And I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do all 6 signs tonight. I'm hoping to get through at least one more. So sorry to disappoint anyone who's really wanted me to see all 6, see me make all 6. And again, I've just got my my Milescraft Exactor measuring tool set to 1/2 inch. Give me a border here. All right, and this one is going to be for Everly, I think. Or wait, no, Emily, because that comes for. Actually, I should do Abraham because he's first alphabetically. So, all right, let's do Abraham. It's a lot of letters. Abraham, 7 letters. So is that the same? Abraham. Yeah, 7, same as before. So we'll just do something similar to what we did on the first one. Mark in our middle. Abrah. So now I need an H in the middle. You know what? I should use I'll leave that one set, and I'll grab my combination square from over here. Make sure I've got those both marked at the same place. Okay. And then that once. Actually adjust this there. And let me get my eraser again. I'm going to make the H the same width as my the ruler on my combination square, which I think is 1 inch. Yep. And that way I can set the ruler right in, so the middle of the ruler is aligned with my half mark, and then draw my H's, the sides of my H's on either side there. All right. And then, all right. A, B, R, H, no. A, B, Abraham. Stupid. It's not an H, it's an A. Abraham. Why didn't you guys tell me all that in the chat? Why didn't you tell me? You did. You did tell me. Bushcrafter, real easy finish is homemade, black walnut oil, beeswax, and a bit of BLO. Okay. Not sure what BLO is, but we need to make a mobile flip cart for my bench grinder and bandsaw, each on their own stand. Takes too much space. Yeah, I can understand that. Maybe on the rest torch before you chamfer. Yeah, I might do that. That might give me a little bit more definition on the angle. So I might try that. A is in the middle. Yep. Yeah, that's what I get for just calculating it all. About doing your burn before you do lettering. Oh, that's a sneaky thought. I think I might have difficulty seeing my lines if I've already burned. So I don't think I want to do that. But not a terrible idea. All right, so once again, erasing. But my middle point is right there. And then I'm just going to go to my spot where I had my H ending on either side. Okay. And then that's about middle. All right. But I want to maintain that. All right. So A, B, R, A. All right. So let me do another A, B, R. I'm going to do an A right here. Okay. A, and it would be come on. Okay. And then the other side of my B, want that to end around there. Yeah, not the greatest, but you know what? They get what they pay for. And then an R. In there. And do the straight line there. Okay. And then H. And make those cross at hopefully the same spots. And another A. All right. And my M, I want to end right around there. Come there. And then will that be our middle point? Abraham. Here we go. Right. So we'll bring him back over here. Find our, hopefully find our double stick tape again. Any luck, we'll be able to secure it in place again. Let me catch up on our chat here, see if I've missed anything. Abraham, yep. Might work if you use an art pencil of a contrasting color for your marks. Oh, that'd be a good idea. Mechanical pencil in white. Yeah, I should maybe invest in that. I have never really considered art too much. So my B and R just seem so much wider than my A, just because they're coming out so much more, whereas the A, it's just one spot. But you know what? It's good enough. Abraham's going to love it. And if he doesn't, he will throw it away, and I won't even know. All right. And all right. So let me get my PPE on again, and then we'll get going on the router. In the meantime, I'm going to turn off the torch here, just in case. All right. I mentioned on the first time around that I was carefully lining it up so that I'd be right in position to be able to, kind of plunge it down even without it being a plunge router. Of course, then as soon as I turned this thing on, it vibrated so much that I completely lost my place. So I'm not even going to worry too much about having it lined up exactly, especially since it's not even plugged in right now. All right. There we go. Still didn't get quite how I wanted to there. Yeah, now I went too far. Oh well. All right. Much steadier hand than you do? Well, it's debatable, Kevin. You know, this one, it's not as easy to control as my other router, the 1617 that's in the router table. In part, I think because I've got a handle on this side, but no handle on that side. So I might need to make another handle. Probably do that on my lathe, my new old lathe. Have you guys seen my lathe? Back there. Still have some work to do on it. I haven't really done much work on it at all. So I pretty much have all the work to do on it. So that'll be coming up in future videos. All right, let me get the random orbital sander back out, and we can clean up the marks on it. See, burning the wood and then drawing your lines with white pencil or chalk or crayon will help you see it better. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I guess I didn't catch your meaning earlier on the white pencil or whatever. So yeah, Kevin, I can't draw a straight line, much less cut one. Yeah. Why do you think I was using the ruler, man? Hey, Bev, thanks for joining us, man. A woman, person. And Amazon has mechanical carpenter pencils with different color leads. You know, I think I've seen those on different YouTube channels. I'll have to take a look at those. Kevin, here you go. Yep, awesome. All right, so let me get to sanding. All right. All right, so you're thinking maybe I should see how it looks if I do the burning before the chamfer. All those in favor? Let's do a poll. Let's see what the people want. Burn before or after chamfer? Before, after. All right, the poll is active. I've got before is in the lead. Let's see how long it stays there. While you're voting on the poll, I'm going to get the router table set back up over here, since I took it off of my other router table. All right, let's see how the poll is doing here. 86% after 88%. Wow, going up. Let's see. Great freehand work. Oh, thanks, Electro. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for joining us. And all right. So we've got 8 votes, or eight votes, 1 minute to go in the poll, apparently. I didn't set the timing on the poll, but yeah, I guess I'm okay with allowing it to go 1 more minute. I don't think it's going to change based on how we've got it so far. But let me put the sander away here too. It's always nice to clean as you go. Been trying to teach my kids that principle. Does not seem to be taking. Come into the kitchen after my daughter's made a meal, and she cooks beautifully. She's a great cook. The food is delicious, but I'm like, wow, there is such a mess everywhere. Can't you like clean up as you go? But apparently not. Oh, I was looking at the poll thinking it said 1 minute to go, and what it meant was 1 minute ago. We've got 11 votes. We're at 82%. I think that's good enough. I'll end it there. So let's burn it now. Burn, baby, burn. Who likes the burn marks on the workbench below? Be honest. Block plane falling off my magnetic strip there. All right. Here we go. That is just about as far as I want to go, but not quite. I think that's pretty good. Those previous workings, yeah. Bandito. Good to see you, Bandito. Bandito suavecito. All right. So let's remove the tape and take that to the router. Take you to the router too. And I'm going to back my fence off a little bit because it was a little closer than I wanted it earlier. So that should still give me plenty of dust collection without getting in the way of what I want to do. All right. Still warm. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's get things plugged in and vacuum on, and then the router on. All right, what do you think? I think that has a pretty good effect. Doing the burning before the chamfer. You get the nice clean unburned edges that way. So on the other one, I did end up burning them a little bit, but they're mostly clean. So all right, let's hit it with some more shellac on Allison and a first coat of shellac on Abraham, which the full shebang here for Abraham's. Let it cool a second here. Let's see. Yeah, so Electro, you like the burn marks. Adds character to the workbench. Craig, you're working till 1. Is that AM or PM there? Hello, David. David Valadez Mendez. Valadez Mendez. Okay. Have you been live yet? Electro? No. Okay, nice one. Okay, have been live. Yeah, I saw Electro live. Pretty good. Pretty fun. Pretty cool dude. Hello, Heavenly. Craig, thanks. Need a sign for your salon. Okay. Put a code in it, it'll pop. Hope so. Okay, yeah. Good point, Kevin. If I burn it first and then do the lettering, they pop even more. That seems believable. All right, here we go. Shellac-a-lac. All right, and then we'll give Allison another coat. And Abraham's looking to be almost dry. That's, I guess, one of the benefits of burning it before using the shellac. What do you guys think so far? Let's see. Plenty more opportunities to see Electro live. Yeah, everybody subscribe to Electro and Billy and all the other creators in here. Craig, got a lot of great creators in the chat. Go ahead and subscribe to them all and be able to see some pretty cool stuff that they do. Pretty fun people to hang out with. All right. So, thanks, Kevin and James. Appreciate it. These are pretty easily the best signs that I've made all day. So I'm not excited about some of the squiggly lines, but overall, you know what? I'm pretty pleased. So with just doing freehand and no templates or anything, it's good enough. So I'm hoping Allison and Abraham won't complain. And if they do, then maybe I'll just burn them in front of them. That'll teach them. But hey, Billy, you taking off? hope you have a great night. It's what, only like 3 a.m. there, right? Oh, hey, thanks everybody. I think I'm going to call it a night as well. So let me hit Abraham with one more coat here because he's pretty much dry. And then we'll call it a night. All right. I think we're good. Squiggly lines are consistent throughout. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. There's something to be said for consistency. I'm not sure what that something is, but there is something to be said for consistency. All right, Electrocia, make them get you a CNC machine for Christmas. Who's they? Yeah, I think the only they that would give me a CNC machine is me. So, and I'm not willing to pay for a CNC machine quite yet. So, I might start using the CNC machine at the public library. So, I realize they've got 3D printer, CNC machine, laser, none of which I've used yet, and none of which I have. So I thought, that might be pretty cool to learn to do all of that stuff using the public library instead of having to pay for stuff myself. So, hey Noah, good to see you here. Are you wanting your name? Is that what your comment means? And it would stand out if there's only one place this way, but it looks like a font choice. Yeah, I'm my Pilato font of squiggly lines. Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, I think I'm just about to wrap it up. If you have any last thoughts, any questions, any jokes, throw them in the chat, and we'll go from there. You want me to? Okay, no, you want me to do your name? That would be great. I'm doing these for the kids that are in my Sunday school class. They're 9 and 10 years old. So if you want to come and join our Sunday school class, I'll make one for you too, Noah. JC, for me, it is 1:15 a.m. and beyond the time that I told my wife I would not be loud anymore. So I better. I'm only about an hour and 15 minutes beyond the time that I said I'd be quiet. So I better actually start being quiet. So let me just say goodnight to the actual camera here instead of making you just look at the signs. But I'll still make you look at the signs. So Abraham and Allison, I guess if I go alphabetical, should have them in the other hands here. But here we go. Abraham and Allison. We've got a couple of signs done for the night and a bunch more to go. So if you want me to do the other signs on live, let me know. If you got your fill and you don't want to see anymore, let me know. If you're watching live, just tell me in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, you can throw it in the comments. And let me know if you want to see the next round of names. And Noah, let me know if you're going to be joining our Sunday school class. So I'll know whether or not to make a Noah sign. Are they really, James? Are they really squiggly, or is that an optical illusion because of the wood grain? I think probably a little bit of both. some of them are much straighter than others. So like this L isn't too squiggly, and the A isn't really too bad. But yeah, I think the grain pattern makes it look more squiggly than it is. But that also, I think, helps to hide the actual squiggles, because like right in here, right in there, over here was a little tenuous. And then on this one, my M was a little scary. This A not as clean. I mean, all of my loops were a little tenuous, but yeah, I think there's some of both. It's both the grain and the lack of steadiness in my hand. So, and looks so nice. You'll try to join. Awesome. Hey, God bless, James. Appreciate you being here. Oh, thanks, Noah. Appreciate that. Thanks for subscribing, man. Anyone else who wants to subscribe, you're certainly welcome to. So, all right, I think that's going to be it, unless I see any other comments in the chat here real quick. And I should probably get to bed pretty soon here, because it's 1 something. So, all right. I guess maybe we'll do another live, and you can catch some more name carving with the router. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.